Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and some more Planet Zoo content for you guys. Just a little side note here, we're going to be doing a tour of the Merlin's Kingdom zoo that I built not too long after the game came out. I think it might have been my second zoo that I ever worked on. But the side note is that this is Wednesday, should be a Jingwall episode, the collab zoo between me and the Park Insider. But we decided to take just a week off. So my episode, the next episode will be coming next Wednesday, and that is due to the new Africa pack that just came out yesterday, because we want to incorporate some of that into the zoo. So you'll see that next Wednesday. But in the meantime, I'm going to be throwing up this video here of we're going to be doing a tour of the Merlin's Kingdom Zoo. It's funny because I haven't been actually in this zoo for about a year now. I haven't even opened the file in about a year or so. Before I even got this tour started, I had to come in and mess with the settings a little bit because, you know, so much has changed since then. I believe this zoo was worked on right after or during the time before and a little bit after the South America pack had come out. So, excuse me. It has been a while. Now, the idea behind this zoo was a zoo that was built around this castle property. Wasn't really too many buildings on it, but it was mainly just the castle walls and all that kind of stuff. So you'll get a better feel of that as we go through. Now, back then, I just had used the normal guest spawners and entrances and stuff like that. You also notice throughout the zoo, which I have noticed as well, that, you know, things that I've changed the more and more I play the game. You know, kind of learn new ways to build things and stuff like that. So, but to start off with, on each side we do have some information booths. The idea behind these are the ticket booths, so admissions and stuff like that. And we got one on each side. This side is exactly the same. So, and then on each side you can come in through these tunnels here and come into the actual zoo. There are several blueprints in the zoo as well, so I'll go over those as best as I can. I gotta be honest with you, it's really hard to remember everything, but I'll do my best. Of course, we got some staff facilities back on this side and on this side as well. And how I did this was the staff facilities are hidden into the castle walls. You can see some doors down there. So that's how that works. Got a cool water feature here as you come into the zoo. Very heavy in foliage, as you can see throughout. And one of the first blueprints that we actually come to is this really, really cool statue built completely out of rocks. And it's called the Thinking Angel, and it is by T. Jones 63. And I'm sure you could still find that on the workshop. I'm not sure, but all these will be listed in the description. I might not include links or anything because I gotta be honest with you, time constraints, stuff like that. But just typing in, you know, TJ or T Jones 63 or the Thinking Angel, you'll find it just fine. But it is really, really cool. Definitely one of the earlier builds that were on the workshop. This is what I was talking about earlier. You know, nowadays when I build, I would cover this up, put some trim along the ground here. But back then, I didn't really think about that kind of stuff at the time. So now this zoo was built before I started YouTube, and this is one of the few zoos that I actually didn't really have any plans for. I had planned on some animals to be in the zoo, but other than that, it was all just coming into an empty map and just start building. You know, I had the idea of the castle and all that kind of stuff. So as we come through, we'll come here and we'll find some more signs here. Well, the signs are placed throughout the park. So this way we got our Nyala's, our Brazilian wandering spider, the aviary, which is of course an implied aviary. We got the Thompson's gazelle, Goliath beetle, and giant anteater that way. Of course, we got our exit, and then on this side we got the courtyard, which is where the food is, and then all in the courtyard you'll find the peafowl, red panda, and the Nile monitor lizard. As you can see here, this is a drawbridge that's actually like permanent, right? So when people came in to turn this into a zoo, they pretty much made it to the point where this drawbridge is permanent, and you even got the gates at the top here as well that slide down. So, and of course I use a lot of torches and stuff like that, but we got the chains here connecting the drawbridge up and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to save the courtyard for last, and we're going to start on the right here, and we're going to go this way. And you'll notice that this zoo is very, very symmetrical. That was an idea I had when I built this. Of course, we have a moat, by the way, as well. Moat goes all the way under the bridge, or the drawbridge, and goes all the way around the castle, exterior castle wall. With, again, lots and lots of foliage. At this point, we didn't really have any too many rustic-looking, you know, old-looking bricks or whatever, so could have used the dry stone, but as you can see nowadays when I build, I use the dry stone a lot, so definitely wanted something different. But the first animal we come to is the Thompson's gazelle, and like I said, each habitat looks exactly the same when it comes to the areas where you go and look at the animals. So you come in and you get your Thompson's gazelle. Also, if you've noticed, the zoo is closed because I didn't want all these guests in here. We had about 4,000 guests when I opened it up, so I didn't want that. Also, I used donation bins, and they're all covered up by these planters, which I thought was a nice touch. There's some holes in the fence here. It means our mechanics are not working like they're supposed to. But anyway, this is the Thompson gazelle, and we have a custom shelter over there as well. Let's go ahead and go in. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't, you know, back then I didn't do too crazy on the foliage and all that kind of stuff, so I'll say it's very different than the way it used to be. But yeah, here we are, Thompson gazelles. These habitats are fairly large too, so I probably could have put a lot more in here, but there are several in here. But yeah, this is back then when I was trying out the rotational symmetry thing, and as you can see, it didn't come out the best. You got the holes in the roof and all that stuff. Not a very good shelter if you ask me, but I was learning. You know, we all got to go through that process of learning, so. But yeah, those are the Thompson gazelles, and as we continue on the right here, you will come to our first exhibit animal, and you'll notice as we continue our tour that all the exhibit buildings are the same, and they're in each corner of the zoo. Of course, we got some more signs here, so you'll see we'll be going to the timber wolf, non-monitors, and the staff houses this way. And the staff houses are pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of those. Use a lot of reference images for those. Yeah, here we are at the I believe this is the Goliath beetle. And again, they're in there somewhere. Yeah, just a neat little building. It's kind of got that rustic feel to it with the stone, brick, and the lots of wood. And then as we come back to the back here, we have our anteaters from the South American pack. A very different habitat when it comes to this, so you get a great view. You really do. Got a little rock bridge here separating the river, and then we have, I believe this is just one of the prefabs that came with the South American pack that I had laid down. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's not anything spectacular or extravagant or anything like that. I was just, like I said, at the time I was still kind of learning how to play the game and learning new tips and tricks from other YouTubers and content creators. So, alright, well, let's continue on. And we over here. By the way, you've probably seen this zoo on other channels. I believe Zoofluencer, or better known as Zoof now, had did a zoo tour of this in the past, and I'm not sure if anybody else has. I'm sure, no, I don't think anybody else has, but I could be wrong on that. Here we have our timber wolves. Excuse me. Yeah, looking good. I don't know, there might be a blueprint in here. Let me check. Oh, by the way, the font of Merlin's Kingdom on the entrance sign is done by Wyzer. You can find that on the workshop. I believe the shelter within the Timberwolf habitat might be from Wirbelwind. I'm not sure, so I don't want to like. I'm really not sure, but I think it might be. But yeah, as you can see, very spacious and open. This is actually not enough room, believe it or not. They actually require a lot more room than this. Yeah, there's several of them in here, and we got the snow patches on the ground, logs falling into the water, and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, looking good, I think, especially for my second zoo. I think I did a pretty good job. People seem to really enjoy the first zoo I ever made, which is the Eden Zoological Preserve. So, and it really sucks because when I built that, it was based out of South America, and of course, after I finished it, is when we got the South America pack. But that's usually how that works, right? When we come back out, we do have another entrance, drawbridge entrance over here towards the courtyard, but like I said, we will go to that later. Now, I'm going to show you the first of the staff houses, which again, I'm particularly proud of. So the idea was that this was already here, and they just converted it into staff facilities. And then we do have the habitat enrichment and wildlife food garages here as well, which I thought were a nice little touch. You could say they were built afterwards, or you could say they were already here. And we got one of these little neat vehicles here as well. But yeah, you come in, and this is all the staff facilities you need. Every single one of them you can find here. Even got a back part here as well. And these are entrances to the habitats. And again, the staff facility, or the staff path, goes all the way around the outside of the zoo. I got a water and facilities and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, everything you need. Pretty proud of this one. I should have put this one on the workshop as a blueprint by itself. I might get to that eventually. Probably need to go through all my old zoo files and do that, and get all the blueprints out and stuff like that. But anyway, we'll leave the staff facilities. Like I said, we'll go to the courtyard. Just a second, there's a little sneak peek of it though. And we will come around to our next animal, which will be the wildebeest. And once again, I tried out my hand at the symmetrical, or the rotational symmetry here. And I think I did an okay job, not the best, but you know, I guess it works. Like I said, I was still learning. And then we have all our wildebeests. Pretty basic habitat. Their little shelter here is surrounded by the water with the little bridge that goes over the top. So I'll go ahead and take you in there and you can have a look at it. Did a better job this time not having the roof open. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Actually, now that I look at it the second time, it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's not that bad at all. Might have to take this design for something else in the future. Oh, there we have our wildebeests. And then what's next is we'll come to the next exhibit animal, which is our green iguana, I believe. Lesser Antillean iguana. He's right there. So yeah, like I said, this is just a duplicated from the other side. And then here we have our Galapagos giant tortoises, where again I tried my hand at the rotational symmetry. Is alright, I guess. But yeah, we got some tortoises in here, and it's funny because when it comes to terrain modifications, I messed with their terrain more than the others, and in reality they probably don't like that very much, but I did like the idea of having this little dipped down area over here. It seemed like it was sort of like a little Garden of Eden in a way. This is what I was going for. Definitely used a lot of these South American packet features here, if you can tell, with the strangler fig trees, the moss covered rocks, and the roots and stuff like that. So I had a lot of fun with that one, trying new things out, new plants, new foliage. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on from the Galapagos giant tortoises, where we come to let's see, the bonobo monkeys. Now, this epic, absolutely epic climbing structures. The reason why they're so epic is because they were not built by me. Like I said, I suck at climbing frames and stuff like that. But I will go ahead and say that the large treehouse, which I believe is this right here, and the Baobab tree platform, they are done by keizerloekus and Primal Soul 16. Highly recommend going and checking out their workshop items. Incredible, incredible builders. And as you can see, absolutely beautiful climbing structure. Can't get no better than that. But here we have our bonobos. You got, of course, got the moat in the front here where they can't escape. You get a really good view of them from back here. Let's go ahead and go in and check out these climbing frames because they're really cool. I mean, look at that. Look how cool that is. I just don't have the patience, I guess. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. The monkeys absolutely love it. Stunning work by those two creators, that's for sure. Alright, up next. Let's see, we have another staff house. Now I can't remember if this staff house is different or not. It is different. Okay, this one's different, yeah. So there we go, got the tower on one side and then the bigger part of the building there. As you can see, there is stairs, and it's kind of funny because I messed this all up when I first built this thing. I forgot to put stairs connecting these staff facilities that are at the top up there. So I kind of had to improvise, as you can see. So it kind of looks like crap. But does the job. Got some staff facilities up there. They can walk across through there. Staff facilities in there as well. Again, these buildings I really need to put on the workshop separately because I think people would really like them. Alright, we don't have very much longer to go. Up next we have our Formosan black bears. Again, climbing structures were prefabs at the time. And this shelter up here, the issue I have with this is it was from the workshop, but the problem is I can't pronounce the name because the name is in Japanese. So, you know, if that person's watching, although I doubt they are, but if they are, I apologize for that. But I have not forgotten that you're the one that created this awesome cave structure up here at the top. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, as you can see, as we go throughout the zoo, I keep doing my best at practicing with terrain work and all that kind of stuff to make the habitats a little bit more interesting. So, but either way, you get a really good view of the bears here. All right, move on to the next one, which is our third. I believe our third exhibit animal is the puff adder, as well as the reindeer. So yeah, we got our puff adder here. Now, there was no rhyme or reason when choosing the animals for this zoo. I just kind of randomized it a little bit. I chose a random 4 exhibit animals and a bunch of habitat animals for this zoo. But here we come to the reindeer, where I built a neat little structure here for them as their shelter, as well as this waterfall. Waterfall that comes out of nowhere. As you can see, the water doesn't come from anywhere. It just comes out of thin air, I guess. But again, I was practicing. Let's go ahead and go in and check it out. Beautiful habitat for them, though, I'd have to say. I use a lot of the Arctic pieces here as well. You know, just trying new things. Something about that wall is very entertaining to this guy. Look at that. And he's pooping. Of course he is. Anyway, well, he's pooping where he sleeps. That's what makes it worse. But yeah, there's the reindeer habitat. Sorry if I feel like I'm going quickly through this zoo. It's not that I'm not wanting to show you guys. It's just the fact that it's been shown before on other people's channels. So, you know, the only reason why I'm doing this is to kind of give my ideas of what I did and what I was thinking when building this zoo. So here we come to the camels, where I built them a little bit of a desert oasis. And that pyramid structure over here is actually mine. I built this for a project that I was working on, and that project kind of failed when it came to the when it came to the file not opening anymore. So I used it for here, just reusing assets. Just a little pyramid shelter structure here for them. This is actually on the workshop, I believe. Been on there for a while. Yeah, but like I said, we got a little oasis over here for our camels. Wanted to get the feeling of the whole rolling like desert hills and stuff like that. So, all right, the camels are shouting at me, so I'll leave. All right, and we have one more staff house over here, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So this staff house is the same as the other one over there. So I'm not going to bother spending too much time with that one. All right, I think we got just 2 or 3, I think we got 3 more animals to go. So here we got our jaguars, where I built a tree house for them. to use, where they can sleep and hang out and stuff. And I don't see any of them down here, so I'm assuming that means they're all... whoops. They're all up at the top of here. Yes, they are. One right there. Trying to figure it out. Yeah, just a little area for them to sleep and hang out. Kind of be away from the guests, if you say. But yeah, just a quick, as you can see, this compared to the treehouse climbing platforms and the bonobo habitat, you know, I'm not very good at shelters and climbing structures and all that kind of stuff, so pretty obvious by compared to this, or this compared to the one that someone else built. Alright, up next is our last exhibit animal, and this is the Brazilian wandering spider. In there somewhere. I don't feel like taking too much time to look for them. I'm not a big fan of spiders. So, but yeah, they're in there somewhere. Over here we have our aviary that I've mentioned before, and again, this is an aviary that is implied, so all the creatures that you see, all the birds, are fake. They're like art pieces. And we do have like a section over here for food, toilets, and stuff like that, where people can hang out and relax, listen to the nice fancy classical music. But our first, these are done by timmyoops, by the way. Very awesome content, or I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or not, but either way, he's still an awesome creator, and I really love pretty much everything that he does. So, but yeah, these aviaries were meant to resemble the classic aviaries from, you know, old classic, you know, 1800s zoos. As you can see, I even have a entranceway over there. But these are our sulfur-crested cockatoos. So neat little area for them to fly around in. We have our snowy owls. And here, even got a cool little box over here for them to hang out in as well. So pretty cool. Up next we have our scarlet macaw. Neat. Here we have our toucan. Did my best to make sure that each area resembles their natural habitat as well, to make each one different. That was my goal. We have our puffin. With a little bit of a area here for them to swim in. Used a lot of the snow rocks. Of course, we got our staff entrance over here to the wildlife food building. And lastly, we have our royal eagle. Of course, these try to build them the best I could, like a little bit of a rocky mountainside where they build their nest in and stuff. Now, clearly, these are very small, but you know, they're fake, and you know, it's pretty much what they had back in the day, you know, was those things like that. But yeah, each of these aviaries is repeated, by the way, just the interior is different. But yeah, that is our aviary section, implied. And I believe we have one more animal on the outside before we enter the courtyard. We do, and that is the nyalas. Go ahead and have a look inside. Built them a very basic structure over here for them to sleep in. And check it out. I forgot to put the... see what I mean? Never fails, does it? I forgot to put the end bits here. Interesting. I always notice that when you go through your old zoos, you always find things that you forgot or that you missed. It happens, right? It happens. Yeah, there we are. There is a nyala. So now what we're going to do is we're going to enter in, but before we do, or into the courtyard, before we do, I'll give you a nice little view of what the castle looks like, big castle walls. And I really feel like it gives you an actual feel of what a castle would really feel like, whether it be modern or ancient. But let's go into the courtyard where we can buy some food and look at a couple more animals. So go across the drawbridge here. Again, we have our staff facilities going through the back here. They actually have some implied like seating areas for the staff as well. On each, I think one side might have a little lean-to. No, it doesn't. I think at one point my idea was to have a lean-to where they could park the little jeeps under it and stuff like that, but I went against it. So we do have some. As we come in, you'll see the big glass peafowl house over there, but this is one of my favorite things that I did in this zoo, and that is this very old looking old style building with all the shops and stuff in it. And before we talk a little bit more about that, I'll show you what the inside of the bathrooms look like. Very simple. Each side looks the same. Oh, never mind, sorry. So we got the bathrooms over there and the ATMs over here. But what I want to talk about is the fact that when I built this, normally what you would do is you would build one and then copy it over, because you can see there's one over there. Problem is, they're not symmetrical, per se. This is the best way to put it, right? I mean, they are, but they aren't. So it was difficult, but I got the job done. I got the job done. But yeah, either way, I think these are really cool. I got these little sections under here where the guests come in and order their food, separated by the fencing and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very proud of this building, very proud of this build in general, especially with the theming. I think I did a pretty good job. But as we continue on, you'll see we have our peafowls, where it's pretty much, you have to imagine that originally when the castle was built, this was some sort of like, the courtyard in the middle there with some grass and some flowers, where the royals, I guess, would maybe walk around and enjoy their money, their wealth, and their power in their little gardens. And so I kind of converted it into this, so that's why it's very clean. There's not a lot of random foliage on the ground. It's all kind of controlled. And that is also why we have this glass dome here, which is sort of like a greenhouse slash shelter. So yeah. The same on both sides, just using the hedges and stuff like that. So yeah, that was the idea behind this, is just like a royal garden in a way. Now as we come around to the left over here, another entrance here. By the way, on the sides, you do have some education and stuff like that. And some music speakers and all that kind of stuff. So we got the red pandas here. Now this one's interesting because, again, another awesome climbing frame slash structures that I did not build. But I really wish I did, because it's very, very incredible work here. And these were built by... We have three. So we have chrissyb, obscene, and zurghtapre are all responsible for each of these red pandas structures and stuff. We have three separate ones. We have this one in the back here, and then we have this big one, and then we have this small one, which was my favorite. I mean, look at this. How cool is this? I'm thinking about trying to replicate this eventually and try to build something like this myself, because that little tiny house is really, really cool. Definitely want to check into doing that. But anyway, there's our red pandas. This one right there. I think he's stuck there. So we're just going to leave him to it. And I believe our last and final animal would be our Nile monitor. Love me some reptiles, so definitely had to include them in the zoo. Yeah, this one's interesting, because we have the waterway over here. I'm just going to enter into the park here. So we got this side here, but we have this little creek, and it kind of runs around this rock structure. Got a little underpass here as well, and they can actually climb up there, as you can see. They have a little blood pumpkin up here, and then they do have a little small shelter back here, and the little small shelter is made by... I didn't do a very good job of keeping track of some of this stuff, so I'm not really sure. So whoever built that, I'm absolutely, positively sorry for not properly keeping track of the blueprints that I used. So I hope you will forgive me if you're watching. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, here's a better overview of what the outside looks like with the castle walls and stuff, because we got what you would say in exterior defense walls, and then we have an extra set of interior defense walls. So you can imagine that within the exterior we would have the lower class people, maybe, or some of the servants, I guess, living in the outside areas here, and then we have the royal gardens here, or the royal courtyard, where inside here would be where the royals live. if that makes any sense. Because again, this is not something that was built in modern day. This was supposed to be an ancient castle area of castle, and they just cleared the inside out, and built a zoo within the defense walls. So that was the idea. Now I will give you a good view of what it looks like at night. There's lots and lots of, in quotations, theming when it comes to the fire, as you can see. And then of course we got the classical light posts as well. Those are lit up there at the top. Here we go. We also have these at the side here. We're turning into a garden where we have a massive spotlight. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite zoos that I've ever built. I definitely like it. And I really, really hope that everyone likes it as well. It's been on the workshop for a while, so if you want to dig in there and check it out yourself, maybe steal some blueprints out of it or something, that'd be cool. I'd be honored for that to happen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think I should take some of these and make blueprints out of them? Or should I just let people go in and take them themselves? Let me know down in the comment section with that, and let me know what you think of the zoo. Did you really like it? Did you hate it? You know, and the reasons why. I'm very curious. And also, would you like to see me do something similar to this again, but maybe in the Zoolittles format? So we do like a Zoolittles project based around castle stuff. Actually, I already have an idea of something sort of like that. So let me know what you guys think of that. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by, taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me. The support and all that kind of stuff. It just blows my mind. Sometimes I sit back and I think about it, and I wonder to myself, you know, do I even deserve this? You know, and I don't really know if I do, but nonetheless, I appreciate it. And that's not me trying to be negative, by the way. That's just how I feel, you know. Anyway, all those people that had workshop or blueprints on the workshop that I used in the zoo, thank you to each and every one of you. Hopefully I didn't forget too many. But nonetheless, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Also, we got a Discord channel if you want to come and join in with that. We do some contests, and there's always chances to win some Steam gift cards maybe, or a DLC and all kinds of stuff. And just a place that we have a lot of fun. Also a community zoo as well that is currently in progress. And I believe that there's always room for new people to join into that community zoo. But anyway, I'll stop rambling. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. Much love to each and every one of you. And I will see you in the next video.